Hello everybody and welcome to round 5 of the GPVWC World Sports Series. My name's Simon Smith and I'll be taking you through tonight's action courtesy of simrace.tv. We're going to have cameraman extraordinaire Simon Melhuish on cameras as ever. And we're into the penultimate round already. My God, hasn't time flown fast for the World Sports Series. We're here today at the Turkish circuit. One that is already lost from our wonderful Formula One friends, but we still love it and we're still here. We're just moving into the last couple of minutes of the qualification session where everyone is trying to get themselves slap bang wallop onto the grid for this 21 lap race here today. Currently on provisional pole position with 2 minutes left to go is still Borna Spoljaric for Torrent Motorsport with a time of 1:54.367. And he's just under 3 tenths clear of Alex Cooper for Midnight Motorsports. Got a nice juicy grid of 27 drivers once Christian Prohaska rejoins the server again. Quite a close field for the first 20 or so, and then we've got a few other people just clinging on round at the back. So we'll see what goes on with them. Just running through the championship standings while we've got a spare few mini-mows to do it. Borna Spoljaric leads that as well. Content with having number 1 splattered all over his various orifices with 72 points. Boy van der Laar is second with 67, just 5 points behind. Alex Cooper's third with 58, trailing the leader by 14 with Marek Skajnowski. On 56, Simon Cattell with 47, and then a big jump back to David Junt, leaving the rest on 38. Some 33 drivers so far have scored points, all the way down to the trio of John McLean, Scott Bennett and Stephen Gordon on 1 point each. And in the constructors table themselves, there's 18 teams that have scored. Torrent Motorsports leading that with 155 and already wrapped up that championship quite nicely with a bow on top. Ahead of Midnight Racing on 88, Innovision with 82, Royal Blue with 75, sorry, short change in there, Royal Blue, sorry. Woods Racing on 61, and Missouri on 42, a big drop back there, all the way down to the Halcyon team with just their single points. As I say, we've got this Istanbul track, and in the final challenge throwdown at the Nordschleife itself, I believe, in 2 weeks' time. Don't forget you can get in on the action for this broadcast itself by popping onto gpvwc.com, and we've got a little page for you for chat room underneath where I can see we've already got myself, me and I in there. And you can also tweet away to your heart's content with me at Satorimum, where I've got my little @connected page going, so feel free to send me any torrent of filth that you like, to be fair. Clock's just hit 0 on the qualifying session. The last few drivers are just going across the line to finish off their times now. Seems to be pretty much separated into several groups of drivers. Borna Spoljaric has got the pole position ahead of Alex Cooper. Boy van der Laar third. Bart de Vos fourth for Missouri. Eric Viet fifth for RMI. Whoopke Hoekstra Woods Racing in 6. Marek Skajnowski 7 for Royal Blue. Ben Warren 8 for Hydraulics. Pavel Lubnowski 9 for Innovision, and Lucas Euler rounds out the top 10 for Midnight Motorsports. The top 10 covered by 1.9 seconds. Definitely a top 6 covered by a second. Then there's a big old gap back afterwards, as suddenly, last man across the line, Boy van der Leyen, yonks pole position. That will do by 0.2 of a second. So in the dying closing seconds there, that locks out Torrent Motorsports all front row. So we'll have that. Thank you very much. So that's already shaking things up already, and yet 27 drivers then will be taken to the grid by the looks of it. Covered by 7.3 seconds. Christian Prohaska unable to set a time there for Cop Racing, having a little bit of a connection issue. Hello to Matt in the chat room there. And hopefully we'll be featuring improved performance on this broadcast because we've had the mod slightly streamlined for us, so it won't just be a filthy radio show with photos attached. This isn't all that we do at GPVWC, of course. Plenty of other stuff to get involved with, including the Super League, the Super Cup, of course. If you open wheelers, Formula Challenge is going still as well, which I believe is held on a Wednesday. All different days, all different fun things to do. You know you want to get involved. Good little community, go and get yourself signed up in the forums. Aside from that, I'd just like to take the time to promote something that we've got. Honest Folly out there just poking me saying going to be shown into turn 1. Possibly. Yes, I'd just like to take the time to promote something that's going on this Saturday and Sunday on simrace.tv. Myself and a few other chums, including tonight's cameraman, Simon Melquish, will be taking part in a 24-hour virtual Le Mans series where we're going to be going for a whole 24 hours. And I strongly suggest you come along and give us a little bit of moral support for that. There's going to be 2 stations running, one for the fellow German friends, because it's a German league that we'll be doing this for. They'll have their own little stream. Come and join us in ours, though. Ours is going to be far much more fun. Plus, I'll be having nibbles. And plus, if you can only speak English, that would be a bonus. Although, to be fair, that doesn't stop me importing in Japanese games and films. That's mainly for the crack. And that's what he said. So just moving forward into the warm-up session. People congratulating Boy. Jason Muscat saying not bad 12th. John McLean, 6 laps of qualifying equals lots of practice laps. Oh dear. So they're just getting themselves locked in. Now, a lot of people complaining about tyres here, saying that the turn 8 corner, obviously, a big challenge around this circuit, and there's a few big stops as well, of course. People expecting definitely to have to make a pit stop here, I'd have thought, because I've heard people complaining literally after 3 laps that the tyres are smashed to bits. I don't necessarily think it will be that bad, but some people I've heard from a little birdie in my ear may even be considering 2 stops. I don't think anyone will be able to consider not stopping unless you are smoother than a baby's bottom around some of these corners. We will soon see. Yes, this I think is going to be the one where strategy plays out just as much of an importance as we saw in Hungary earlier on. in this season, where we had people not stopping, people one stopping, and the one stoppers were reeling right into the zero stoppers, the rate of about 3 seconds a lap, wasn't it, by the end? And that was a classic showdown moment. I can see something being very similar here. For those of you that are statty, it's a bit of a ratty statty, we've got damage set at 85%. 21 laps, obviously. The only things that are allowed are low traction control, low anti-lock brakes, also clutch is allowed, which always used to help me out, to be fair. Best overtaking opportunities, of course, down into turn 1 itself. If you get it wrong, coming out of turn 8 into turn 9, because that's a little flicky chicane, and of course down at the hairpin is the best one. But there is plenty of room, if you can, to kind of run side by side pretty much throughout the entire last third of the track, from the hairpin all the way to the start finish line. I've done it myself, and if I can manage it with my limited capabilities with fat fingers, quite sure other people can do it that are a bit more prowessed than I am in sim racing. So I think things will be very much open-ended today. And of course, just the final round then left to go after this, and that will be broadcast in 2 weeks' time, again on a Thursday. In the intermittent Thursdays, you've got the broadcasts of the Super League series themselves, so you're more than welcome to come along and see the open wheelers in action. To be fair, who can get enough? Unless it's maybe F1 round Valencia. Perhaps it was quite funny when I was told I was going to be doing the 24 hours of virtual Le Mans. I thought, oh no, it's on an F1 weekend. And then I looked and saw what track we were going to and realised I'd been spared. 24 hours of staring at a computer screen screaming over pixels. Far much more fun. Oh. Cameraman in my ear just said that they should do random opportunity to open the swing gate just to see what comes in. It's a bit like a micro machine race. Crazy cars. Ah, wow. Now, talking of having a car that could go on water and road, I'm pretty excited for, and I know it's a bit sad, the new Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing 2 that's coming, because the cars change from going from flying to driving to hovercrafts. Far too exciting. The original one of the best cutesy racer games to have ever come out ever, and it was so criminally ignored. I will always champion that game. Awesome. So we're just moving forward to the race itself. Courtesy of a good evening of entertainment. We've got footy coming on afterwards for those of you who like to kick about a ball. I prefer to do other things with balls myself, but not necessarily in a physical nature. Crafted these moves quite well. So, just about to go around on a formation lap then for this GPVWC Round 5 World Sports Series at Istanbul, Turkey. Boy van der Laar then takes you round on pole position, yoinking at the very last second there. Although he slotted in behind teammate Bornas Boljaric, that will rectify itself coming out of 1s 2, indeed it does. Alex Cooper then third on the grid for Midnight Motorsports. Fourth will be Bart de Vos, for Mazurek Racing. Fifth, Eric Viet for RMI Motorsports. Wupke Hoekstra, sixth for Woods Racing. Seventh, Marek Skajnowski for Royal Blue Racing. Eighth, Ben Warren for Hydraulics, loving the purple as always. Pavel Luknovsky, 9 for Innovision. and Lucas Euler rounds out the top 10 for Midnight. Wesley Morris at 11th for Halcyon Racing. I think we'd be quite pleased with that, to be fair. Jason Muscat, 12th for Hatchell Pennine. 13th for Timu Toika for Street Fighter. That's the highest I've seen him all season, to be fair, as well. And he was singing quite loudly in the TeamSpeak earlier on, so he's obviously excited about something. Normally he's like got the lowest voice possible, and I never knew that he could go above as an octave. Matt Leonowitz, 14th, again high up for him for Revolution Motorsports. 15, Daniel Lovett for Hawkeye. That's where the points end there. David Junt, 16th for Woods Racing, and David Stanton, 17th for DSR. 18th, Jeff Mead, back again, Halcyon Racing. Being out more like Amy Winehouse and Rehab. Oh, bad joke, sorry. Sam Crane, 19th position. You know when he says, oh, someone's off there. Who's that? That's a blue car splattered in the thingy. Oh, they're all having a bit of problems actually. Stefan Gordon's just smacked the back of Jeff Mead on the formation. That won't help. Simon Crane was 19th for Walter Blue, sorry. 20th was Stephen Gordon. Then Mark Wicks, 21st for the second hydraulics car. Dale Stones making his debut in the World Sports Series for Revolutions and 22nd on the grid. Nick Newcomb, 23rd for FA. John McLean's off the track again there for Halcyon. What is going on in this formation lap? So I think he was just caught out by the speeding up and slowing down of drivers. They need to sort that out. Chris Williamson is 25th and he's further up the field, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there for Street Fighter. Miles Dixon, FA Racing, nearly piling into the back of everyone on his second race. Christian Prohaska well off the pace on the formation lap, let alone anything else. I think he's going to lag out actually. He's all over the shot. But there was a car that I saw parked up somewhere, and I'm trying to work out who on earth it was, but it was a blue car, and I thought for a second it was Bart de Vos. It seems to have got itself going again now, but it was either a royal blue or a Missouri car that was parked up out of the exit of turn 8. Very bizarre, but okay now. Yes, Christian Prohaska needs to catch back up to the back of the field. He's busy doing his own sweet time, coming round into the formation lap. Needs to, I hope, doing something. Ah, that's the car that's busy getting back in as well. It was, yeah, one of the midfield. So Christian finally now deciding that he's going to join the rest of the field on the grid. I don't think anyone else's tyres are going. So I think he's lagging there, and oh, Mark Wicks I can see lighting up tyres in the background. Not quite sure what's going on, but it looks like we're going to be ready for the off now. Here come the lights, hopefully, and 21 laps of action round the Istanbul circuit will commence now. That was a long old hold. Boyd's got away well. Spoljac's going to go for the outside. They've both got clear runs, and Spoljak loops round the outside of Boy van der Laar. Has he gone in too deep though? Yes, he has. Der Laar is side by side with him, and he's going to retake the lead position. He's got just about a car length ahead of Spoljak, who now falls in straight behind. And then it's going to be side by side pretty much for the next corner. But Boy has got it. Has everyone else got through? I can see Hoekstra's got lights on. Oh, Whoopke Hoekstra, they're starting from the pit lane. He was the one that got stuck. Dale Stones has got a puncture on the right rear, and that is Stefan Gordon is also facing the wrong way too. So, and Leonowitz in trouble as well. So a few other drivers now in problems too. Nick Newcomb and Jeff Mead have made contact as well, and Nick Newcomb's got lights on, so I think he's flashing to say not very good. But up front, Boy van der Laar still battling off Borna Spoljak as they go into turn 8. Spoljak's on the wrong side there, to be fair. He's going to have to cut back in again, but der Laar, in fact, both of them, they're kind of compromising their own entries into turn 8, which is going to mean they're slow on the exit. As, ooh, off wide goes Eric Viet as normal. As he's trying to gain a little bit of momentum maybe, but as they both break down into turn 8, der Laar's gone in deep. I think that's going to affect his exit because he's hopping over the curves, and Spoljak is busy sizing him up. I don't know if he'll have a go into the next turn and then wait to the hairpin or not. No, he's going to have a go straight away, side by side the TMO cars go. That is very, very brave round there because Spoljak's straight over the bump and having drama. Whoopke Hoekstra's left the game. Side by side they come down into the hairpin. Will Spoljak be able to weave around the outside? Yes, he is, because der Laar has gone in very, very early onto onto the brakes. Spoljak loops around the outside and he's going to take the lead side by side into the next corner. I told you can do this. If you can hold on and then try and go on the inside for the next turn, he's got him potentially on the outside and he's done it. Fantastic from Delar. Spoljak goes off onto the curb. He's going to try and do the cut back and then have a go round the outside into turn 1. The TMO guy spending most of the opening lap side by side as we complete lap 1 of 21. Fantastic action by these two. Delar's very, very sideways on the brakes, so he's running right the way out to the outside and Spoljak has to do nothing but fall back just for the time being. Cooper's third, Veet is fourth, all over the back of him, then a gap back to DeVos and Luknovski. Dale Stones has just retired as well. That must be damage because he had a right rear puncture at the beginning. Veet has gone round the outside of Cooper for third position, clean round the outside of him. That was a very easy move there for Veet, but it was a very difficult one to do. It just, he had so much extra speed. What's then is 5. Luknovski is up to 6th there. Pavel doing a great job, and those 6 have pulled well clear of Leslie Morris, who's 7. Then Euler, Stanton and Junt, as look at these top 6 all piling in to the turn 7 corner. Junt has got Crane and Skajnowski all behind him. Jeff Mead is 13th, then Newcomb. Timo Toika's side by side with Chris Williams for 15 and 16. Williamson is taking Toika, so that's a change of position. As all very, very close up the front again there is Spoljak carrying the back around the exit of turn 8. And it's never going to work on the exit, you're just going to plough into someone. He has another little peek down into the chicane, but quite often taking a go into there doesn't really pay you dividends because it makes you slower on the exit, and now he's potentially under pressure from Eric Veet depending on how good the slipstream action is, and all of this battle is going to be hurting their tyres, and tyres is the big thing here at the moment. As someone out, that's Miles Dixon, has just retired as well, so that's our 3rd retirement in 2 laps as Spoljak tries down the outside once again. Van der Laar very cautious on the brakes into 1, but absolutely fair, holding around the outside line. Spoljak just rams him completely off the road. Flash from Van der Laar, quite rightly so. He's pushing right away to the outside of the limits there with Balder. A little bit leery. Well, you know what's going to happen. That's going to be Veet having a go, but I think, to be fair, Van der Laar's going to have a go as well, so they're all going to end up piling into each other down at turn 1. They all, Spoljak goes in a bit deep, as does Van der Laar. Veet there too, DeVos running out onto the curb, then Luknovski. Then Wesley Morris has got Lucas Euler all over the back of him, who's overtaken David Stanton for 8th position. Stanton down to 9, David Junt now 10. Skajnowski's got round Simon Crane for 11th and 12th positions. Timo Toika's got back round Chris Williamson again. There's contact between Veet and Delar for 2nd and 3rd positions. Then behind them we've got 17th position Mark Wicks has got round Daniel Lovett. Leonowitz back up to 19th ahead of John McLean. Prohaska's 21st, as that's Alex Cooper having a look at Veet. Timo Toika's off the track actually now, down in 18th position, but he's back going again now. He's lost out a few positions. I believe Jason Muscat and Stephen Gordon may have pitted because they're quite a long way off the rest of the field, but at least they are running, unlike retirements Miles Dixon, Dave Stones and Whoopke Hoekstra, who didn't even really get out of anywhere. As Eric Veet once again running wide out of the exit of turn 8, and there's potential advantage to be made there, so we might have to keep a running eye on that as someone's changed position, and that is Lucas Euler getting round Wesley Morris for 7th and 8th positions down into the chicane at turns 9 and 10, and someone else is off as well. That's David Stanton off the track, he's now rejoined in 11th position, and that's allowed David Junt up to 9 and Skajnowski up to 10, and if anything now Simon Crane's going to have a go at him down the straight because he's looking very slow. Lucas Euler and Wesley Morris in P8 and 7. Wesley Morris is round. That was a crazy move by Wesley Morris. He was already lost the car on the way into the hairpin, just collected poor Euler, who was doing his own business, to be fair. David Junt goes round him, and someone else is in trouble as well. Is that? No, it's Lag as they go through, sorry. But Bart DeVos in 5th position. But yes, Wesley Morris, so far off. They could get a gold medal for something of that synchronicity, I think. Further off, great little battle going on for 14th, 15th as positions as well. Mark Wicks having a go at Chris Williamson. But back up the front, something's gone. Oh, dearie me, that is Lovett. Not loving it very much because he's busy loving the barrier. Unfortunately there, Daniel rejoins in 20th. Something has... Oh no, nothing has changed at the front. It's just the field going a little bit mental. Mark Wicks is off the track in P18, rejoining just behind John McLean. Yippee-ki-yay through that, up to 18th position, and Toika's off as well, and he's rejoined in 18th. It's a shame there for Timu because he's running up in the points. Every time he gets there, he kind of goes, no, 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 no! And it all goes horribly wrong. Chris Williamson moves out of the way. I wonder if he's busy letting Toika back through again, because those two were battling for positions, and I wonder if he's maybe letting Mark Wicks through as well. But yeah, great little scrapperoo going on. Simon Crane off the track in turn 8, down in 12th position, just rejoining. Oh, John McLean, P15, and Leonowitz, P16, side by side through turn 8. Well, my goodness me, Leonowitz, they're taking the bull by the horns and seizing poor old Brucey as they come out of turn 8, and I think he's going to, well, throw caution to the wind, stick one up the inside. Ooh, contact between the two, and bang! Ah, Timu goes round and round to Leonowitz again. It's all got a little bit crasheroo, and well, you can yippee-ki-yay one thing, but unfortunately, that's only going to go and get yourself killed. And yeah, you have to die another day, and you've got to make sure that car keeps going, because at this rate, there's going to be. I know that's James Bond. I was doing another joke, Mr. Cameraman, in my. He's just ruined it now. Never mind. Skajnowski has a go at Wesley Morris and takes 9th position, actually down to turn 1. Good move by Marek. But no, what I was going to say was you need to keep that car going, because at this rate, the way our Bruce Willis seems to be popping out new Die Hard films, you're going to be on Die Hard Zombie Revenge 8 or something. That car needs to keep going. Up front now, the battle was kind of spread out a little bit. There's a second between Spoljaric and Delar. Viets is third, Cooper 4 and DeVos 5. So they're all still pretty much close together. Pavel Luknovsky all on his own in 6th, but he'll be happy with that. Lucas Euler 7, David Junt 8, Skajnowski 9, Wesley Morris now down to 10, ahead of David Stanton and Simon Crane. Jeff Mead in 13th in a points-paying position. That'll do. Nick Newcomb 14th, he's in points as well. Mark Wicks is 16, now ahead of Daniel Lovett and Matt Leonowitz, and that's because Timu Toika is busy Tonka trunking it round, and he's really not troubling apexes. So we won't be particularly pleasing himself with that. John McLean now back in 20th. Ben Warren 21st after his adventures. Such a shame he was far up the field earlier on. Muscat, Gordon and Prohaska. So Prohaska's in the pits. I don't know if that's planned or not, but Viets is now in 5th position. Just taking a quick look back, I think this may be a turn 8 drama, as Luknovsky completely missed turn 8 as well. Ah, no, it was down in turn 7 actually he lost it, and he lost it all on his own accord. Yeah, just coming out of turn 7, loops it round, somehow manages to end up facing the right way, and just gets it back going, flooring it down. But he's now 5.7 behind. Cooper under attack from DeVos, slightly down into turn 1, but Cooper's got it for the time being. Those two have been very, very close all race, but DeVos a much better exit out of turn 1. May have a little look down. This is always an awkward corner because you're popping up the top of a hill. It's very difficult to judge kind of where everyone's going, and DeVos third side look, but not really able to do anything on lap 6 of 21. If people are going to be two stopping, it's going to be in the next lap or two that they're going to have to start thinking about doing it. I've seen Prohaska in, but I don't think that was a scheduled one because he was limping along, not necessarily faster than what he's normally done. He's just rejoined the track actually and he's limping still. So, but to be fair, his fast pace is everyone else's limping potentially, so we're not quite sure with that, as DeVos once again very close up to the back of Cooper for 3rd and 4th, as he's shadowing the guy as they go into turn 8. Oh dear, Voss is round, and thankfully Veit able to get away round the outside of that. Good evasive action, but yeah, he just came in very hot, and Luknovsky, can he fancy a top 5 position coming out? He's got much better exit out of 8. DeVos goes defensive. Is Luknovsky going to take a dive down the outside for the Innovision driver? He is, but DeVos has got that one covered. It might be better to just tuck back in again. And Pavel's having a lovely race all by himself. I think he might quite happily opt out of having a battle in favour for some juicy points. The way this is going, Stefan Gordon has now retired for Hawkeye Racing, so he's our next retirement out. So we've got, David Stanton's off the track as well in 12th position. That won't help for DSR. Still in the points, he's just pulled back across in front of Jeff Mead, who's coming up upon him quite quickly. but maybe not quick enough to make a difference down into the hairpin. As, ooh, I can see, oh no, it's just lag as we cross the line onto lap 7. No one's pitting this time by Eric Veit. Once again, he keeps running wide out of turns 1 and 8. Although that one did purely look unintentional because he was hot on the brakes and they were locking up. So obviously tyre wear now really starting to become a factor as the field start to form their own little miniature clumps of cars as they desperately try to focus on keeping the tyres in best condition as possible and seeing whether they can get away with just the one stop as opposed to the two. As Nick Newcomb goes in deep in 14th position, still ahead of Chris Williamson and Mark Wicks and Daniel Lovett. Now battling over the latter part of the points as Boy van der Laar's caught right back up to Borna Spoljaric again, the gap just half a second as they round the perilous turn 8. I've had many an excursion off there. There's parts of that runoff that you try desperately not to meet, but it's like meeting in-laws. You know it's going to happen one day and you dread it. Never a good one. As out of the exit they come, and actually de Laar's got quite a nice little run, to be fair, off the edge of that. But quite frankly not close enough as they come down to the hairpin. Cooper now quite happily in third because of Bart de Vos's miniature spin. The TMO's popping to the pits. No, Spoljaric keeps going, but he cuts right across de Laar there. Different lines into the final turn. Spoljaric, I think, looking very much under pressure as they cross the line to complete lap 7 and start lap 8 of this Turkish Grand Prix. And de Laar has a little look. Not quite close enough. Oh, Teemu Toika in the barriers in 21st position. I think that's a puncture for you. Yeah, definitely a rear puncture, and I think that could well be the end of any kind of relative competitive run as Jeff Mead and Dave Stanton swap positions for 13th and 12th positions. A purple car was involved in that. I can see if it's a purple car it's probably going to be Mark Wicks because he's just had the most unluckiest run of the world ever, to be fair. As David Stanton and Jeff Mead overtaking each other into turn 1 for 12th and 13th positions, and Jeff Mead keeps that, so good move by them. Spoljaric and de Laar still at it though up front, ahead of Cooper, Veit and de Vos. Luknovski, Euler, Junt, Skajnowski and Morris rounding out your top 10 currently at the moment. Well, de Laar certainly piling on the pressure at the moment. The field continue round and Toika is retired from the race. Oh dear. Very, very, very close down into turn 9. That's not good at all. Prohaska is now retired too for Cop Racing, so he's out. Toika's out too as they come rounding round the fast kink. And Spoljaric still just about keeping it going, but he looks like he's got a little bit more of an edge here down into the hairpin compared to what he did last time round. De Laar braking on the curb, that was a bit brave. But yeah, Spoljaric locking up tyres left, right and centre with his more aggressive style. That could well spell trouble for him as we come into now lap 8 completed, lap 9 starting. Still got Cooper kicking around in the background, and Veit is still there too, and de Vos is actually closed right onto the back of him as de Laar runs wide in turn 1, and that's going to put him on his back foot for the next few corners. Oh, David Junt 8th position, spinning out of the final turn. Through goes Skajnowski, and he's back going again before we get Wesley Morris onto him. So just a loss of 1 position there for David, but still quite solidly in the top 10, and that'll do. Ahead of Wesley Morris and Simon Crane down in 11th. As Nick Newcomb holds off Chris Williamson for 14th and 15th position still, as they have an ongoing scrapperoo. I think Matt Leonowitz has been off the track again because he's dropped down to 18th position. So the same old people having the same problems around this circuit. Sometimes you just have one of those days where you just think, God almighty, what on earth did I do getting out of bed for this? As once again, Spoljaric under attack from van der Laar. And Van der Laar, a nice juicy exit. He's having a nose down into the turn 9. And that is the most committed effort I've seen so far. Spoljaric so late on the brakes. There's a touch. A little love nudge from behind there from Boy saying, don't you forget it. I'm there. I don't think Borna has quite forgot it, to be fair. He said to me in a poke, in TeamSpeak, I will have him down into turn 1. He certainly did. But there's been no means plain sailing since. Oh, de Laar! I tell you what, that was a good job that Spoljaric, I think we saw that one coming. And is he into the pits? Yes, he is. Very last minute lunge. Swicks across sideways into the pits. De Laar suddenly now released. But what will we be able to do on warm tyres against Spoljaric's new ones? And where will Spoljaric feed back out again? Because Cooper's going to go through. Veet has still got De Vos behind him for 4th and 5th. De Vos, they're quite happily shadowing Eric for the time being. That's going to be a good scrap to watch because De Vos seems to be quicker, but just not really had the opportunity to have a go. Different lines actually through turns 1 and 2, and if anything, De Vos is going to have a go at him. Potentially. 13.4 second stop then for Spoljaric. Luknovski's gone through. Oh, as De Vos has a look at Veet there. Euler's gone through, Skajnowski goes through, and Spoljaric's going to rejoin right behind him, and that could be problematical for Spalner because he wants to have clear air. He's out ahead of Junt though, so that thankfully that spin has helped out Borna for David, so I think he'll be politely thanking him afterwards. David Stanton's in from 13th for DSR. So now suddenly the pit stops are starting to come in. And, oh, change of position there for, oh yeah, David there not really helping, shooting over his box. And unfortunately, there's only one place where that kind of phrase can really do you any favours, and it's certainly not in the sim racing scene, as Veet and De Vos are very close together coming out of turn 8, and De Vos has been shadowing him for quite a few laps now after that half spin in turn 8 lost him out in the battle to Cooper, who's not really got away. There's still just 3 seconds between Cooper and Veet. Currently sitting 2nd and 3rd in a race, although that is pit stop regulated. David Junt off the track again and has let Wesley Morris go, so he's now down to 10th. And Spoljaric has got past Skajnowski down into the chicane, and I think that will help as De Vos takes a peekaboo. But Veet has that one quite happily covered as Boy Van der Laar carries on for another lap. Alex Cooper's in though from 2nd, so that's key as Veet and De Vos continue on. Luknovski and Euler continue round as well. Oh, as Skajnowski has a go back at Spoljaric down into the hairpin, loses it on the exit slightly and struggles to get back going again. Slight loss of time there as Cooper into the pits. Luknovski and Euler go through. For Cooper, it could well mean that he'll be rejoining right where Wesley Morris and David Junt are, actually. So that could be a bit of a problem. Pointing point 0 there for Cooper, and as I say that, he's rejoining right alongside the Wesley Morris and David Junt battle, and he slots in just ahead of David. So David not helping himself with all these little mini half spins. Crane 11, then Mead, Nickham, Chris Williamson's into the pits as he goes round the outside there of David, doing so well. Good move. Cooper's going for a straight switch back through again. He doesn't need to get involved in this battle because I don't think David will last much more than another lap or two. I know Cooper has got 3-second advantage potentially over Veet and De Vos, who have separated out slightly. So I think De Vos has had a half go and has lost out somewhere. But no, Cooper now stuck behind Junt, and Wesley Morris there is ahead, the slower of the 3 potentially, is John McLean spinning in 16th position out of turn 1. That's let David Stanton go, and Ben Warren and Daniel Lovett having a go to go through. Oh, Daniel Lovett going off onto the grass. What on earth was that? It was an interesting attempt of an overtake. Daniel, I think, getting the momentum caught up there as Ben Warren struggles to find an apex. And Van der Laar continues on. Veet and De Vos coming to the pit lane entry now. So we shall see What's going to go on there? Cooper having a go as DeVos pops in from third position. Oh, Alex Cooper off the track in P10, running so wide out of that fast kink. They've caught Wesley Morris. That's the problem. Morris really struggling. And, oh, David Judd's going to hit him. He goes in deep. Cooper says, thank you very much. Oh, manages to negotiate. Wesley Morris is busy spinning in sympathy. So Wesley there really under attack. Simon Crane trying to get involved, but he goes in and has to follow Wesley Morris round and through. So Simon will be thinking, oh no. Oh, he's going to take him into pit lane next century there. Thank you very much, says Simon. He's not a man to waste away with some cobwebs. Luknovski's in as well from what was, well, it will be an aggregate 6th position potentially. Oh, what's going on down there? That's 19th, 20th and 21st. Williamson, Leonowitz and Jason Muscat has finally caught up for Hatchell Pennine. He had such a drama at the very beginning there. And Leonowitz is going to have a go at Williamson round the exit of turn 9. Side by side they go down into the hairpin. I think Muscat is just waiting for this to all go horribly wrong. But he's so much quicker under braking there, is Jason. He just kind of pounces on them. And oh God, contact there. That was a bizarre one. And Leonowitz there, wrong-footed. Muscat goes through. Oh, and he's then having a helping hand round by Leonowitz. Poor old Jason. Abused left, right and centre. Our final runner currently at the moment. Everyone's still on the lead lap, and that will do quite nicely as Ben Warren is into the pits, as is Nick Newcomb and Mark Wicks. And in fact, they're exiting nose to tail from 15th and 16th position. So it's all kicking off. Down into the hairpin comes Boy van der Laar. I wonder whether we'll see him in, or whether he'll try and do the opposite of what he... No, he's in. He's in. That was quite a bold statement there. I didn't think the tyres would last. So we'll see what happens with Boy. Veet is coming in as well from P2. So Euler is then the last one of the big ones, along with Skajnowski, to pit. So we'll see if they fly in or not. But, boy, once again, he'll have fresher tyres towards the end of this race, and that will be excellent. Now, as you can see, Veetin. Euler continues on and is still ahead of Spoljaric, and Spoljaric is going to go and take it. So 13.4, exactly the same. Spoljaric's already gone through and has taken the advantage, but this will mean that it will be advantage Boy for the last few laps because he's going to have fresher tyres, so it's going to close back up again potentially. And we've got to see what Lucas Euler is going to do, because Euler for Midnight Motorsport's still out there. I imagine he'll be pitting in the next lap or so because Borna is closing him down, and it could very much end up a problematical thing for him as Marek Skajnowski now into the pits, as is David Junt. So they all continue on. Borna reeling in Lucas so quickly. Euler, who pace-wise has rarely been beaten in the open wheelers, not figuring so highly here today. So we shall see as they come into turn 8 just exactly what the thing is. But all of this is kind of eating into the 6-second advantage that Borna has, and he can't go through there. That's going to be... Wait, Borna. My goodness me, as he runs right the way out. I know he doesn't know what that word is, but he does need to have a go down into the head. Oh, yeah, Lucas wise to let that one go, I think. But Borna's through. That has cost... I'm just going to wait for Boy to go through the next sector just to see how much time that will have cost him, because Boy obviously in clean air. The gap was 6 seconds between them. It's now, as he just rounds this one, just down to, well, 5 and a bit. Cooper then up into 4th then for now. DeVos ahead of Veet in the pit stops. That's a change. Luknovski's got Skajnowski all over him, and that is for position. Skajnowski there, very considerate on the brakes in the hairpin, chicane, but he's going to have a go down into the hairpin. I'll keep thinking about this hairpin because it's so crucial. And Marek getting right into the slipstream of Luknovski, and Pavel, who's been left to his own devices most of the race, suddenly now under attack. And Luknovski goes very defensive, and you can do it down into that hairpin because you can just run very tight. But it does mean that you're in trouble in the next corner. But Luknovski covers it very well, and he's got it for the time being as they filter on through. Euler continues on. He may be trying a non-stop, which will be very interesting indeed. And Skajnowski now down the straight, I think, is going to have Luknovski into 1. Indeed he does. Fresher tyres. Oh, Luknovski trying to hold him around the outside. Where are you going? You end up in a Balkan country if you carry on. Jeff Mead up into 9th, and he has not pitted. So Jeff Mead for Halcyon trying a non-stopper. Wesley Morris is in 10. David Junt 11. Simon Crane right behind in 12. David Stanton a farther 20 seconds back pretty much in 13th. Then Daniel Lovett 14. Mark Wicks 15. Newcomb just outside the point 16 with Williamson 17. Leonowitz now 18. Ben Warren 19. John McLean 20th, and Muscat still our final runner, as Lucas Euler in trouble there because it looked like he stayed still for a little bit. Maybe there was a PC freeze or something like that by the sounds of it. I'm just being told. I'm just going to flick the replay button. Oh yeah, down to the chicane. Very, very lucky actually where he rejoined, not to be collected by Boy Vanderlaar, but that has completely, well, that's removed Boy's last problem, potentially, apart from just Borna itself. So the gap as they cross the line, it's been about the 6-second mark. It's now down to 5.5, and he does the fastest lap. So now begins the eating in. It's like Pac-Man at high speed as they go around. He's just eating into the gap. So Euler now 3rd, being towed in by teammate Cooper. Voss 5, Veet now with the fastest lap 6th, then a big gap back to Slajnowski, who's now around Luknovski. Mead continuing on, so it's Mead and Euler, the two looking like they're desperately trying to not stop. And oh no, Jeff Mead's in. Jeff can't do it. He's in, he's given up the Halcyon Racing not-stop strategy. And that will pop him potentially outside the points, depending on how quickly he can get in and out. So Morris will move up into 9th position, despite all of his excursions, still doing very well, and obviously must have some quite good raw pace. David Junt up to 10th, he's had enough excursion for one day. Simon Crane in 11th with a very quiet run. Then David Stanton, Lovett, Mark Wicks has got Nick Newcomb and Chris Williamson closing him down. So Wicks, he wants that last points paying position. So we'll see how that goes. And Jeff Mead has just rejoined in 13th position, just ahead of Daniel Lovett. So that still works out a nice points paying position for him. So, but Wicks has got Newcomb and Williamson behind him. Leonowitz still going round, as is Warren and Muscat. John McLean has been in trouble again and has dropped down to last. Oh, he's spinning round at the hairpin, and that's problems because he's going to rejoin right in front of our leading duo. And there you can see Spoljaric just going through. And I think John McLean's into the pits, yeah. I think there's some damage to that car somewhere along the line. Let's see what the gap is as they cross the line this time. It was 5.5 before, now down to 4.9. It's going to be bang on, isn't it? If he's taking out half a second a lap. We'll see. He may run out of laps to do it, but the chase is on. And it's going to be an interesting one for third as well, because we've got Lucas Euler, of course, non-stopping, and that is eating into his things. He's in 157.5, 157.3, down 202 obviously with the dramas last lap round as well. But Cooper is doing mid-56s to mid-55s on a good day, but he's now being caught by Bot de Vos, who's busy doing low 55s and is absolutely stonking it for Missouri. And Eric Veet is in similar paces, dipping into the 154s on occasion. So they're kind of in reverse order of pace. So they could very well concertina up into a nice juicy finale for us. As the rest of the field continues off, as Cooper in trouble coming out of turn 8, and I think this is going to be de Vos's first opportunity to strike. Cooper goes defensive down into the chicane. He's got it covered, but that's going to leave him compromised on the exit, and de Vos can see it straight away to the inside line. I always find it so dastardly to go side by side round that kink. And look, Cooper goes cutting right across, barely an anorexic between them, because that surface is uncanny. So Cooper goes for the inside for the hairpin. He's got it for the time being, but it does look like a sitting duck. de Vos, that maybe the camera angle, but it almost like contact there. And look at Veet. He is Veet. The French for fast. The gap between the leaders now to 4.2 seconds, so that was a little bit more than half a second this time by. So boy, ramping it up. As Spoljaric starts to go. Oh, Cooper. Big lock up into one. Once again under attack from De Vos. Everyone else, well, the start battle's going on, but not for as much juicy positions as De Vos has another look. Cooper not being scared off. De Vos having to take to the curbs, if not the grass for that. They come round, and De Vos got such a flamboyant driving style because he throws the car in. And sometimes you just think that's not going to stick. Somehow it does. And then the Zurich racing driver trying to break this 2x2 Noah's Ark special. Don't know what accent that was. I was having a my lips aren't doing what my mouth wants it to do moment. And Cooper's so tight into the first two parts of turn 8, and I think that's going to compromise him on the exit potentially again. De Vos right up onto the back of him. Oh, Veet there losing it a little bit in the background. And he has another little look. Not wise to have a look there all the time because it's going to leave you slightly wrong-footed as they come into the chicane. Look at the way they've closed down on Euler though. The gap between Spoljaric and Delar already down to 3.5 on this lap alone. So Spoljaric really pushing in. And I think that's because they've just had to lap Jason Muscat as De Vos comes right the way around the outside. He's been pushed right up to the white lines. Cooper giving him absolutely no inch as they go side-by-side contact between the two. That's not going to help. De Vos there pushed right the way up onto the curb as Cooper tries to put his car in all the right places. He'll run right the way out to the very edge of the track, very easily to do. De Vos is just going to nose it right in, push him right the way out in return. And it's going to be a drag race down to turn 1. De Vos is going to have the inside line, but unfortunately they're going to have problems when they get there. They've got Matt Leonowitz that they're going to be lapping very shortly too, and Euler's just up ahead, blocking the brakes and not really taking to the track at all. He's just about kept it on the black stuff. De Vos has got the position then. 4th place for him, ahead of Alex Cooper. 3.1 the gap for the lead now. Cooper I don't think is done, and I think he's going to have half a stab down here. Oh, just about. Veet is just hoping for something to go slightly wrong, and that could be the opportunity now as they've closed up on Euler. Leonowitz backs right out of it. Good driving there by Matt. Well done as he gets out of the way of this 4-way train for 3rd position. Next one up for them is going to be Jason Muscat, who's a little bit further up the road, but not much, as the 4-car train continue to go on, and Veet smacks the back of Cooper and round they both go. Synchronised spinning once again, only no one will give any marks for empathy for that as they come out. Veet as the position flashes. I don't know if... interesting thing there. I don't want to call whose fault that was because it was. I didn't have the best camera angle, and it was. Sometimes it's not about fault. It's just wrong place, wrong time. But they're back going again. Eric Veet 5th, Cooper 6th. But that's taken them both out of it. Euler now under attack from De Vos. Then straight onto the back of him as they come round the fast kink of 9. And it's going to be the hairpin, and Euler no tyres. He's made the strategy work though, to be fair. He really has made it work. De Vos goes right away to the outside. He's going to be relying on much better braking power. Euler still sticking it in, trying to keep to the inside line, but he's going to be wrong-footed potentially. But no, he's got enough of an advantage to cut right across there. And Euler's not going to give this one up straight away. It's a podium slot, and De Vos there going for a wide entry to try and get a better exit out of the final corner and then have a run down into 1. But I don't think he's got enough to do it as they start lap 19 of 21. The gap between Spoljaric and Delar now up to 3.3. Spoljaric they're having some kind of resurgence that lap as Euler and De Vos once again nose to tail, sorry, not side by side again. John McLean has retired from the race with suspension failure, so that must be crash into the wall. Ooh, De Vos there being pushed out slightly wide. That's problems for him as De Vos getting his nose in. That's not the place to do it because you're only going to be punted off round again. Ooh, just about keeps it all together. But De Vos there, a much better run out of turn 6. But Euler's got the inside line. It's very difficult to keep a fast run around the outside of turn 7 because it's one of those awkward cambered circuits as someone is off elsewhere, but DeVos trying to go around the outside into 8. Euler's not got the confidence. DeVos is just going to run a ring round him. Euler! My goodness me. Right down to the very last bit. Oh, DeVos runs out 4 wheels off the track. I don't know if that's going to cause a legality issue. And he's very deep into the chicane, to be fair. So all 4 wheels locking, and he's got it. And I don't think Euler's going to have much of a riposte. He's going to try and keep in the slipstream if he can. But what of his tyres will be when he gets there, I've got no idea. Good battle going on once we've seen this to its conclusion for 8th and 9th as well, because David Junt's caught Wesley Morris and is actually just past him off our screens. Euler having another go at DeVos. No. Oh, DeVos is round! DeVos lost it. Too busy looking in his rear mirrors. And look, Veit is going to go through as well. And Cooper was busy nerfing poor old Leonowitz as well. Cooper's got his lights on. I don't know why. But never mind. He maybe is trying to say to Eric, wait, or something. Let me have that position too. I don't think it's going to work. But yeah, it's all become Morse coded. We shall soon find out. But yeah, David Junt off our screens has taken Wesley Morris for 8th and 9th positions. And Mark Wicks has lost out to Chris Williamson and Nick Newcomb and has dropped down from 15th to 17th and is about to be caught by his own teammate Ben Warren, who's been in recovery since turn 1, as Spoljaric still 2.5 clear of Bandelar, and that's worked out quite nicely for him at the moment, because Delar is not making in the head road in the last 2 laps as to what he had done previously up till then. It's as if the steam's kind of fallen off the charge, and maybe it's not quite worked out to his advantage. Eric Veit under attack though from Bart DeVos slightly. Although DeVos very awkwardly into turn 8, so that's not going to have helped him out on the entry. So we'll see what happens to him on the exit. Oh, wobbly. So that's actually stopped that for the time being. Oh, change of position. It's David Stanton into the pits from what was 13th. It's now 14th because Daniel Lovett's gone through. Chris Williamson goes up to 14th and David Stanton is going to be out of the points as Ben Warren and Mark Wick 17th and 18th position. Hydraulics Motorsport battle. And I think Ben Warren will have that potentially. Oh, contact between teammates. Round goes Mark Wicks. What more does that poor guy have to do to get some luck? Poor guy. As they're just rejoining back on. Just ahead of our leaders as they start the final lap. Euler. My goodness, that car looking very, very worse for wear now. Eric Veit is back with him. What's Euler going to do? He's gone defensive into 1. Veit, though, may well just have enough of a rubber trail to just pounce around him because Euler's running on rims as opposed to wheels, to be fair. Veit just going flying around the outside. He'll have him. Oh, contact between the two. That looked like an Euler moving across moment there. Veit yoinks through into 3rd position and he has that one for RMI. And DeVos and Cooper still there, pretty much. But Euler just trying to make the best of it as they filter through. The leading duo, 2 seconds between them. I don't think there'll be a battle for that as they come to the flag, although I've got my eye open on that too. DeVos up into the slipstream. He's going to get caught out if he's not careful by Euler, but he's got a much better run, and Euler a bit of a shaking arse moment out of turn 7, and DeVos goes through, and suddenly Lucas Euler, he did start 10th or there or thereabouts, so it's still a gain overall, but I think he may let teammate Cooper through as well, because that's an awful turn 8, and Cooper goes through and it's all gone wrong there for him. The leaders coming up to the hydraulics cars. Ben Warren has let Mark Wicks back through, and then Ben Warren's just gone off, and my goodness me, Spoljaric must have been breathing a sigh of relief as the hydraulics cars are busy scrapping with each other and having dramas round the last curve. He's made it work. Borna Spoljaric takes the victory here for round 5 of the World Sports Series here at Istanbul, ahead of teammate Boy van der Laar by 1.4 seconds in the end. 3rd as he comes round the hairpin. Looks like it's going to be Eric Veit, but nothing's over until you cross the line, so I won't count any chickens there, especially with Eric. Always flash it. Don't flash your lights till you're over the line either. I've learnt that one. Veet then grabs third position. Bart de Vos ends up fourth, and I think he'll be ruining his mistakes for that. Alex Cooper fifth, same for him really, to be fair. Lucas Euler, an interesting way to come home sixth with a good strategy. Marek Skajnowski struggling out of the final turn, but he's made it work for seventh for Royal Blue, and I think I'll be quite pleased with that because that was a clean, good race. David Junt, a lot of early errors, possibly costing him seventh, but I think I'll still be pleased with that for Woods Racing in eighth position. Ninth will come Wesley Morris, who's had more excursions than someone on an orienteering fest, and Pavel Luknovsky, who was looking so good earlier on in sixth position, fading away in the second half of that race to come home 10th for Innovision, but a top 10 nonetheless. Simon Crane, anonymous in 11th, but that's more points for the Water Blue Racing car, and he'll take that quite happily. And Jeff Mead, who started off the season so negatively, saying, "Oh, I've just not got anywhere, it's been a disaster." Points, my friend, points for Halcyon, and they only had one up till now. They'll have that battle for 13th as they come around the last corners. Daniel Lovett for Hawkeye is just about going to fend off the recovering Chris Williams for Street Fighter. Both of those have been in the wars plenty of times already today. Nick Newcomb in 15th position. Points, I believe, go down to 15th, so he may well scrabble the final point. If not, and it does only go down to 14th, I completely forget because of my general excitement. He could be getting FA for FA Racing, or he could just be getting a nice juicy point. And Mark Wicks kept himself unlapped in all of that to stay 16th ahead of the lapped teammate Ben Warren. David Stanton with his last minute pit stop ends up a lapped 18th. Jason Muscat, no luck whatsoever for the Hatchell Pennine team, 19th and a lap down the final finisher. Your retirements: Matt Leonowitz, I believe, was a crashy out. John McLean, a definite crashy out. Timo Toika crashed everywhere. Christian Prohaska, I don't know, maybe the server just went no. Stefan Gordon was a crash, I believe. Miles Dixon only got round lap 1 before I think he crashed it. Dale Stones had a puncture problem down at turn 1, and Whoopke Hoekstra started from the pit lane after dissing it in the poor old barriers on the warm-up lap and didn't get very much further. Lucas Euler saying that his left front tyre died on the very last corner, so he actually went across on practically free wheels. So well done. Jason Muscat saying it's the first race he's finished without a disconnection in months. Well done. Shame you didn't have any other luck anywhere else, I'm afraid there, James, but never mind. Simon Crane saying he's spun with 2 laps to go, but still pleased with 11th. Apparently there was problems with Prohaska lagging through everyone, so I think that's what maybe caused the start problem. So, some very interesting stuff there indeed, but that win for Spawner can only help his title challenge as he continues to open up the gap, which was already at 5 points, to something a little bit more, with 1 round to go. And it's really just those 2 guys in it. I think Alex Cooper and possibly Skajnowski can, in theory, mathematically get it. But it really is between Stoliarik and Vanderlaar. And as you saw in the racing here today, pretty much anything can damn well happen in sim racing. A disconnection normally does. So, what's going to happen? Series finale, 5th of July. That'll be a Thursday. At the Nordschleife. What a way to do a finale. Of course, you can start the action there pretty much from around 7:30 British time, where I will be, as ever, taking you through proceedings. Things exciting best as I can. Of course, myself and Simon Melhuish will be back with you again on Saturday and Sunday. Kickoff is 2 o'clock, pretty much UK time. Adjust your clocks for wherever else in Europe and the world you are. Come and join us on the English stream, where myself Oscar Hardwick, Nick Rowland, and possibly a few others as well will be calling the action. And quite possibly, I think a couple of GPVWC drivers will be there too. So why don't you come along and cheer on your own? If you don't, you just fancy a good old community fun fest, come along and get involved. We're going to have quizzes, we're going to have giggles. We are going to be doing some proper broadcasting as well. But when it gets to the early hours of the morning, especially if it's full moon, that's when the good stuff happens. So, the drivers pretty much all knackered out after that fantastic action-packed Turkish Grand Prix. Thank you ever so much for joining us. My name's Simon Smith. You lot all take care, and I will see you for the final round of the World Sports Series here on simrace.tv, 5th of July. Take care.
Why can't this moment last forever? Tonight eternity's an open door. No, don't ever stop doing the things you do. Don't go. And every breath I take, I'm